Welcome to a Foreigner Farming in the Philippines. Well, we've got fish water going onto the rice field. At least it'll go onto the first rice field. Had the guys clear all this out in here. So we're going to pump all these pits that had fish in them dry. And I don't know if we're going to have time, but there's a noisy chainsaw. I don't know if we're going to have time, but I might remove these tarps as well today. I can tell by how fast or how not so fast this is pumping that it's going to take quite a while to pump all these dry. Alright, I don't know how well I can do this one-handed, but what I'm doing here is I've cut this side of the tarp a little bit because it's not tearing quite like I like it. But I'm pulling this, it's two tarps. So I'm pulling the top layer back, and it's pulling all the sludge out of the bottom with it, because I want to get all of the fish this time. All of them. I don't want to leave one behind. So this is going to be the hard way to do it, but I'll get all the fish out of it this time, and I'm going to have the guys, depending on how much of it there is in this pit, I might have the guys carry this back up and put it in the garden. Yeah, this is coming along pretty well. That's just a little bit heavy. The guys are up doing a little bit of trimming around the limoncito in the orchard area. So I'm tackling this myself down here for now. But this isn't that bad. It's actually, as I'm pulling it along, it's making its own little dam there. I'm going to have the guys come down and help me shortly, just to make sure the dogs don't get any fish. Still a pumping away there. So the bigger ones we'll put in the cage, and the smaller ones we'll just throw directly back into the pond. Alright, well, we had to roll that back. Reniel, we missed one right there. Large. Just throw them in there, Reniel. Just throw them in there. So that's what I'm going to do for the next 5 minutes, is just stare at this. And any movement I see, because you think you've got them all, and then they'll struggle in that mud, and then you'll see them again. So anyway, I'm going to leave this mud for a couple days, let it dry out a little bit so it's a little easier packing. So one pit down. Rainiel. Far. Just throw over there. Far. Far. There. Yes. So anyway, we'll let that mud dry out a little bit and we'll haul it up to the garden. That'll be really good stuff for the garden. Even if it does have a few dead fish in it. So I'm going to move the pump and start this one to pump it out. We're going to have to do a little bit better job of netting them. So if there's just a few left in the mud, because it was a chore getting them all out of that mud. Alright, well, got this second pit almost pumped out. Had a little more time, a little more daylight, I'd finish it. The water's only a few inches deep. That'll be one of the first things in the morning. So hopefully we can get all the rest of these done tomorrow and get all the fish out of them so I don't have to worry about it anymore. And just do something different. As soon as I get these pits pumped dry and the fish out of them, the sooner I can get this pump to do its main job, which is to aerate this pond. Been doing a little bit more cleanup around it. That's what the guys are doing right now. There was a couple of branches hanging over, far over into the pond, and it was pulling this tree in. So had the guys chop them off, and I kind of like caught them as they were falling because I didn't want to destroy the net. And one of the branches had a nest of lumpinig in it, those little tiny wasps, and stung me right on the chin. But I made it a point to drown them. I just rotated that branch right into the water, and they got a watery grave as payback.
Give me a tangkong, sir.
Okay. So there's a couple other trees on farther down that they're doing the same thing on. I just want to get rid of the weight that's pulling those trees into the pond. And I really don't want branches overhanging the pond anyway, because then you got leaves to deal with like that. So we'll do a little bit more trimming tomorrow. Leaves aren't a big deal, but they are organic matter that just decay in the water, and it's just not the best thing for it. So the guys are coming back tomorrow afternoon if they can. They have school in the morning. So I'll get in here in the morning and I'll The water lettuce is making an appearance again down at that end of the pond. So I'll get in there and while these pits are pumping, I'll go down there and get some of that water lettuce out, whatever you call it. And hopefully we can get all these pits pumped out tomorrow, the pond cleaned up, and day after tomorrow, I think that's Friday, get another net in here, get another cage put in. Tatai and Nerio and Ebiot and Bleat are all over working on Gary and Elnora's dirty kitchen, and so they're not going to be available probably this week. So it's me and Rainiel and Ronmar, and they can only work part-time. It is what it is. But that looks better. It looks a lot cleaner than what it did. And we'll continue on with that. In fact, I might have them take off a few more branches on that tree right there. And the same thing with this one here. I tried to get Nerio up in this tree right here. You can see how much this one's leaning over. The top of it's probably in the center of the pond. Maybe I can get, Ronmar doesn't seem to care. I'll get him up in there and we'll get a few of those limbs off, at least one large one, and maybe it'll straighten back up. Marcel wants this all cleaned around this pond. I don't blame her. She was down here barking orders about 30 minutes ago of all what she wanted to do tomorrow. I was going to have them chop down this buffalo grass as well, and I saw that little nest in there, and I monkeyed around in there and got to where I could look inside of it, and I think there's 7 little eggs in it. So we're not going to cut this down. Hopefully, I think that's her I hear up there talking at me right now. So hopefully me reaching in there, because if it wasn't a viable nest, I was going to have them cut all this down. But because it is a nest with eggs in it, and you so rarely see birds here, that we'll just wait and do that a different time. Hopefully she'll come back to it, that I haven't put too much scent on it and been messing around here too much to scare her off. Picking at it a little bit every day. We're getting there. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.